What is going on, lunatics? We had the spaces yesterday for the market module. I'm going to tell you what happened. Guys, this is super exciting. You may not see it in price action right now, but you've seen an uptick in price action, and it's only going to get better, in my opinion. We are entering the altcoin phase of the bull market, so I suspect we're about to see a really nice move for Terra Luna Classic. Where will it go? Again, I think it's ultimately about a 40x from where it is right now, but that could change fundamentally based on what we learned yesterday with the market module. Now, make sure you hit the like button on the way in, and let's go. All right, so if you're interested in checking this out, I did share it. You'll notice I don't have a blue check mark anymore. The reason for that is because I don't feel like paying Elon any more money for what I don't think he's doing anything for me. So if you want to listen to this, go listen to it. Gives you a lot of details. There were a lot of good questions that were asked about the market module and how it's going to work. I asked my own questions. We were given 4 questions, or we were given an opportunity to ask 4 questions. So I chose the 4 most appropriate questions that I felt. Go listen to it. If you don't have an hour and a half, it is about an hour and 49 minutes long. So, you might want to speed it up a little bit, pay attention, because there's a lot of great information that was in there. In following up and keeping with that, tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, late night Lunc, going to discuss the latest news and developments in crypto, and not just what's going on in Terra Luna Classic, but in the market in general. As you know, Bitcoin reaching all-time highs, hit 123,000 today. So a lot going on, and we'll see how this all plays out. But I think that we're in a great space right now. Before we go any further, sign up at terracasino.io today. I did get approved for a giveaway, so I'm going to be giving you money. I'm going to be giving you money to use on Terra Casino. If you sign up, use your @, and then I'm going to make the announcement for it, but make sure that you get signed up today so that there's no glitches or anything like that. Should be very, very easy. Connect your wallet, create a username, and then I'm going to need your username when the contest is announced. If you want to trade the Believes meme coin, terraport.finance is the place to go. You don't want to trade the Believes meme coin? No problem. You want to trade Lunc? You want to trade Terra? You want to trade Juris? You want to trade whatever it is you want to trade? Terraport.finance is your place to go. Also, they are one of the major burners in all of these spaces. So make sure that you sign up there as well. Attach your wallet and you can get started today. Commonwealth now has a discussion up about community support for a USTC staking system. As you know, USTC needs a little bit of love, I think, or at least in my opinion, probably going to need a little bit of love at this point. So a staking program might be something that's in the cards, might be something that really helps us out dramatically to increase a little bit of interest in USTC and thus LUNC. So that discussion is being held right now. This is a signal proposal. And, look at it, read it over, because it's going to come to a vote at some point very, very soon. I stand corrected. It's already up for a vote. So the signal, that signal didn't last very long and went straight into a voting process. So if you were interested, I encourage you, go read over this. Number 1, read over it so that you are informed. Take your time, take your moments to check it out. Number 2, go look at how the people that you stake with are voting. And if they are not voting in your better interest, for example, Baywatch, Vegas nodes, Trump node, Luna rewards, validators, they're all voting yes. People voting no are Lunc goblins, BK nodes, BI nodes. Buy nodes, sorry about that. Galactic Shift, Battle Force. So go through this, look through it, and decide. Validate with the people who support what it is that you think is important. It's very, very simple and not complicated at all. And all you have to do, go to station, and you can change how you get your change your validator almost immediately. There's no delay on that. There's only a delay when you're cashing out. As far as meme coins, everything goes, just a little bit of side-ranging action. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, Bitcoin is pumping. Why is Luna Classic not pumping? I told you before. Number 1, Bitcoin's got to eat first. Then the large caps need to eat. We are at this point a mid cap, so it is not our time yet. Now, you might see a little bit of movement in some of them that have some kind of positive indicator or motivator. You might see that, and fine. But we're going to need a little bit more. And by the way, we just had this space, so I think that this will kind of catch a little bit of attention, and we'll see some real motivated price uptick, especially when the actual proposal goes up for the market maker to re-enable, and we go through the process. That's when the real excitement is going to start. That's when the real excitement begins. So today, I'm telling you, I'm not I'm not even asking you. I'm just saying that it is my opinion that we're going to see a market price movement when we get to the discussion of the market module, especially we're going to have people front run it. Then we're going to have people who see it and say, oh man, this is really true. It could be happening. And then there's going to be the approval. If it gets approved, then I think that a lot of people are going to be speculating like, I need to have a bag. And that's going to create a run on price. So I do think that we're at the cusp of a big movement. Now, when will the proposal be up? I don't know when that proposal is going to be up. There are some moving parts to this. And just to point out some of the moving parts, we talked about Redline Drifter's USTD proposal, things like that. Those are going to make a difference there. Those are the things that they're not gums in the works, but they are potential issues that we should look at because they're so close together before the market module gets launched, just in case. So there's going to be some testing, by the way. We're going to see the market module on Test Center. So if you're a validator, it's certainly important to make sure that you've got a validator node on the test chain so that you guys can check everything out and make sure this thing is working as intended. There's going to be two proposals and there's going to be two options here. One of them for the market module is going to be the mint to burn or just burn, one or the other. And by the way, even if there's a mint process, we'll talk about that in just a moment. Validators, we're continuing to see some shifts away from certain validators. Look at all nodes down 17 billion. Now we're starting to see some movement here. We've seen, quite a few of these guys just kind of making their way around, and pumps, dumps, pumps, dumps, pumps, dumps. We're seeing all of this. Vegas node, 61 billion taken out. His voting power just got kind of wrecked on this. But if you come over here and look, you'll see Juris picked up some. You'll see that, a lot of these have picked up some. So, maybe, just maybe, things are changing. Again, it doesn't matter to me who gets what. What matters to me is that somebody gets something. Now, you see a lot of unstaking here, but you haven't seen the stakes go to other people. Like, for example, you see that Vegas nodes lost 61 billion. Like, where did 61 billion go? Out of nowhere. And then, it hasn't been reestablished anywhere. So, yikes. You know what I mean? So, I don't know where it's going to be reapplied, if it's going to be reapplied. I really don't know. But we just went under $1 trillion in staked Lunc. So, something's going on here. I don't know what it is. And we're going to find out. We'll find out in very short order. But you can see there is just a lot of movement. Just by default, just by virtue of some of these pulls, some of these large pulls that have been taken out of some of these, like Baywatch, stuff like that, they've dropped dramatically down this list. And in dropping down this list, that leads to more power for people who I don't think are great actors in the system. But here we are. So a lot happening here. We lost 20 billion over here. So, guys, let you know what's going on here as soon as we understand a little bit more. Okay, so let's talk price action. We've broken above the 50. We're still in a good position. This is where we were on Friday. We're starting to see that little surge. We've got a little bit of sideways movement, a little bit of consolidation in range. Two things happening right now. We're going to start to see this moving upwards because we've got positive price action. So it's going to move up in a trend line to continue on. This should continue upwards. And then you've got this little crossover right here. Again, we talked about this the other day. That is that golden cross, and it looks like that's going to be playing out. So if that's going to be playing out, and it could be very rapid if we get just a few nice days one after the other. So if it plays out that way, then what we're looking for is a really, really good move. Now, again, we have to preface this by saying good move to me and you might be different things. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for some confirmation up in the top of this range right here. At this point, kind of look at it and just, you're only just dropping a zero. So basically what I'm saying is, a nice little break above here and getting up into this little range right here. That trend line, I think, is going to be paramount. Now, why do I think it's paramount? Right there, guys, it's about the narrative. It's about the fact that what we're looking to break is trend lines, right? This trend line right here needs one more confirmation on it, but it needs a breakout above. We've never broken out above. If we do that, it'll be the first real real bullish confirmation that we've gotten. Now, that also doesn't mean that we're not going to go above this area or above this area or above this area. It doesn't mean any of that. What it means is we've got bullish confirmation we haven't seen in a very, very long time. Now, we've seen multiple times breakouts of lower trend lines, and it's really not amounted to very much. If you look at this little trend line right here and you see how it played out right there, broke sideways before breaking back up. So, not a lot of movement there. Same thing over here. You had this real descending sort of trend line, broke sideways. Not, it doesn't inspire your confidence. Okay, so the question now becomes, what's the next move? What's the next? What's it look like going forward? And by the way, if you look at that right there, even that confirmation right there, again, we need to break above that trend line. That means so much at this point. And I guess we should probably put down right now that we've got 4 points of confirmation on that trend line. So, again, a break above that changes fundamentally everything about this. So certainly, fingers crossed, holding on, looking for something like that to happen. Also, it looks like we're getting a flow, and this is the daily, by the way. So on the daily, on the MACD, it looks like we've got a nice little flow in. We've had a nice little flow in, but you can see how it got white right here. That means that we're probably on the downside of the movement. Now, the question is, will we get a little bit more of a surge before it starts to dump? Can we get a little bit something like this right here? We're in the zone right now where you can see, like, when you've got massive moves like this, then that leads to these superior price actions over here. Same thing over here. You see that? You get superior price action over here. So we're seeing that. We're in that cut right now. We were in that cut before, and guess what? Barely any price movement. We did that before, and barely any price movement, or at least just to catch back what we had dumped out. So, it's complicated, but I think that we're in a good position right now. Will it maintain that way? Will it stay that way? That's going to be on the market to decide. Now, USTC has started to pump, and it's up over 1.4 cents. But again, when I say pump, it's all relative. It's relative to where we are right now. And here's the important part. Remember, I told you we need bullish confirmation, and that's a break above the 200 MA. Guess what? USTC is about to break above the 200 MA. Again, 200 MA is coming down this way. 50 is coming like this. Guys, we're looking at a breakout. We're looking at a big move potentially happening for USTC. I'm not telling you to move everything over to USTC, by the way, because you never really know what's going to happen. The other part that should have you concerned would be this right here, and you can see the RSI just getting really cooked right now. So maybe we're going to get a good move, but I want to see a purpose behind USTC before we can do anything. So the staking conversation, very, very good for USTC, whether it gets approved or not. The staking conversation is very, very good to have. Now, the other part is that leads us to, how do we start to burn some supply? Market module. Once we burn some supply, what happens? Then we start talking about a repeg for USTC. Where are we right now? Well, let's go over this real quick. You got volume increasing, not appreciably, but a little bit. When you have a 44% increase off 10 million, you're going to 14 million. That's still not enough. We need 100 million a day. So that's what we're looking for. We're really looking for this number to double and triple and quadruple from there. Then we're going to have a lot of attention, and a lot of things positive would start happening. Now, same thing for USTC. Again, it's 8 million in volume. You want to see that with a floor of about 10 million. Gives you a bullish sentiment. But here is the issue. Now, in order to repeg, we need 5.59. We need $6 billion. And we don't have $6 billion, okay? We're not MicroStrategy. But what could happen is we could start burning a significant portion with the market module if we can get people trading on the chain. If that happens, then we burned half of the supply. We still don't have 2.75 trillion, or we don't have 3 billion, 2.5 billion or 3 billion. We still don't have that, okay? But, and that's a mighty big but that would be a good start. And by the way, we don't have to peg to $1. You could peg to a quarter. You can peg to 50 cents. You can peg to 10 cents, by the way. If you remember, SHIB is going to have the SHI token, and that SHI token is going to be pegged to 1 cent. So we could peg Terra Luna Classic or USTC, I'm sorry, to 1 cent, and then from there start to build up our quote unquote coffers, if you will, and continue to build that and to use like what USTC and what our USDC and Circle are doing is they're buying US Treasury so that they're getting guaranteed interest so that they continue to profit off of it. And that's what we could end up doing as well. So, you know, there is a path forward. It's a very narrow path. USTD might take this to an almost non-consequential thing. It might be the thing that drives USTC into the ground. Just being honest with you, I'm not sure at this point, but there is a potential for that as well. So we want to be aware of it. But ultimately, I think this is a good thing no matter what for USTC. And by the way, you could have two stables. You have USDT, you have Circle in the market, you have USDC, you know, you've got RLUSD. So there's plenty of room after USTD for USTC to make that comeback. Okay, but again, you have to guarantee $5.59 billion worth of debt in the circulating supply and $6.09 billion overall. So we need a massive amount of burn in order to get even closer to that. Now, matter of fact, right now we're at 78 million market cap. If we could reduce the supply down to 78 million, we're at $1. You know what I mean? So, but that's mathematically what has to happen. So we're above a penny, and we'll see whether we stay there or not. Burns are 1.194 billion. That's a significant amount, but again, I think we need 2 billion per week, and we've got a big amount right here of $1 billion about to drop off today. And tomorrow, we're going to be looking, or well, the day after tomorrow, we're going to be looking at, you know, just a nominal amount of burns. Again, comes down to interest overall, and we got to increase the interest in what's going on. And remember, don't forget this, we're talking about it right now. I'm in the United States, or some other people in different parts of the world, we're talking about it. Asian communities, those are the ones that really like Terra Luna Classic back in the old days, the Asian communities. So, you know, hopefully we'll get a little bit of smoke going up there and people start to get excited about that. And we'll see like South Korea, who is very pro crypto right now with their new president elect. So we could see some really dramatic stuff happening, but that's just conversation until we actually see it. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. And remember, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. And go check out that Spaces. And there's going to be another one tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard.